Here is this dress. It's cute. I love it. I have worn it for a really long time. The dress is Belladonna from Doe and Deer, and the jacket is a Vogue 9338, I believe. I really like the pattern on the jacket. It's this scuba open weave. I got it in London, and then this knit is just a knit from Joann's. It was an inexpensive knit, but I made this pattern a couple of times. Now that I've lost 15 pounds, it's too big. The sleeves are too long on the jacket. That I can repair. The jacket actually itself fits pretty well right now. I mean, it might have been a little more separated before, so I think it's fine. But it also doesn't have any hemming. It's just cut, so I could always retrim this if I wanted to. The real issue is with the dress. So I love this pattern. It's super cute. It has scoop neckline, just turned under sleeves. There's a waistband that is way down here, almost on my hips, and then pockets, pleats, and it has a really cute open back, which you can see. And now, because the dress has gotten so long, it's hanging here. It's hanging here on the sides. You can see my undergarments, and you can see them in the back. So to fix this dress, there's a couple of things that you can do. I've lost most of the weight up here, so it's gotten long here, which in turn has brought this band down, way down here. So the band needs to be up a good 1.5 inches. I don't want to fix it from the bottom because that will shorten the skirt. I need to do it from the top because what's too long is the bodice. The bodice is really, to see how much better that looks just by bringing that up. I mean, you can do this with ready to wear. It doesn't have to be something that you made. Now, I don't really want to do that because I need to fix this. This is just too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the shoulders up 2 inches. And in doing so, by shortening the shoulders, I've brought the neckline up, I've brought the armhole up, and I've also will be bringing the back up, which will cover any of my undergarments with that back opening. So this is what we're going to discuss. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then for the jacket, to repair the jacket, all I'm going to do is trim off, because again, it's a raw edge, because it's scuba. I'm going to trim off 1 inch around this little bell, because the bell is coming down here on me, which is just way too long. I look like I'm wearing somebody else's jacket, which is not what we want. So let's do that. All right, the first thing we're going to tackle is this Vogue 9338. I like this jacket. I love the way it fits, and with this open weave scuba, it was great. There was no seam allowances, no edging. I did have to French seam the seams, but you know, what time I lost on the French seaming I gained by not having to put a facing on it. And it's perfect because it's a little dressy, but it's not so dressy that I can't wear it pretty much anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1.5 inches off of each of these little bells. They're just too long. So I'm pinning this so the raw edges come together. And I'm going to do both sleeves at the same time, pin them both at the same time, because I don't want to cut one twice. I did that to a pair of pants once. Oh my gosh, it was awful. I was shortening them. They were rain pants, golf pants for my husband, and I shortened one leg, and then I went back and reshortened the same leg. So then I had to add a flap on with a zipper on each side. Oh my gosh, I created so much work for myself. Okay, so my little bells are pinned, and I want to cut this off at 1.5 inches. Now I could use scissors and just go through, but to get a really nice cut, you need a rotary cutter. And I'm going to flip this around because I am left-handed. And with the curve, it's a little bit more challenging, which is why we have pinned this together. So I'm going to take off 1.5 inches, and I'm going to just kind of keep rotating my ruler. I'm measuring 1.5 inches with the ruler to get this kind of rounded See that I'm cutting and moving my ruler at the same time, and now my pin is too close. I'm going to just move that out of the way. And what the rotary cutter will give you that you don't get with the scissors is this beautiful smooth edge. So there. I cut off 1.5 inches. The bell is a little smaller. It's okay. Proportionally, it will be better, and it'll be less of a detail, more of like just a small detail as opposed to a focal point. So we're going to do the other one. This makes you nervous. Use a measuring tape. I mean, it's the hem of a jacket, and it's going to be womply anyway because it has these little cutouts, so it's perfectly fine. All right, the jacket's done. That was a really easy fix, quick. Since I really want to lift up the whole bodice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from the shoulder seams. Now, these shoulders, because we have this cutout in the back, I just want to make sure that we get everything the way it's supposed to be. And I'm going to take this shoulder seam and I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches, 2 inches I think. I'm going to cut off 2 inches from the seam line, right? So I can actually use my mat again. Because I want to shorten it 2 inches, I'm going to do it from the seam line because that will make it 2 inches shorter. And then I can go from there, and I'll just add a seam line back in here. But I want to make sure it's nice and straight and even. It's worth taking the time to do that now. All right, that's 2 inches from the seam line. So I'm just going to whack it off just like that. Do the same on this side. Make sure it's nice and straight. Don't have any bumps or rumples in there. And cut it off. All right, now I have a dress that has no shoulder seams. Ha! What did I do? No. What I am going to do is I'm going to unpick these edges of my, this is my armhole. I'm going to unpick the edges of my armhole and my neck hole for probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch, because I want this open when I sew it together. That, and then I have to go back and redo the top stitching. I have a row of double stitching on there. You can see twin needle stitching. And I'll go back and put that in on the part that I have taken out. But in order to get a really nice juncture, so this has double stitching because it's a knit. You could do the same thing with a woven. You wouldn't have to have that double stitching. It takes a minute to take this, especially the twin needle. It takes a minute to take it out because you have 2 rows of stitching that are attached with the same bobbin. So I've opened that up on this side of the sleeve, and I'm going to find the back or the front, and I'm going to open that one up also. All right, so here is one edge of the sleeve, and I've opened up that seam allowance just like 1 inch or so. So here is the front edge of the sleeve that I've opened up. This is my armhole, right? And this is the back piece, and I've opened up this armhole. So you can see it's open just a little bit, 1 inch, a little bit more than 1 inch. That way I can pin them all the way out to the raw edges and restitch that seam. So once I've restitched that seam, this will fold back down. I'll show you, and then you can just finish, go back and restitch the armhole closed, and you will have shortened your dress In this case, I shortened it 2 inches. It will fit so much better. I sewed the shoulders together and I did them 2 different ways. I opened this armhole up because I wanted this smooth look around the outside of my shoulder. So I opened it up and you can see I stitched all the way to the edge. And then what I'm just going to do is fold the seam back to the back of the garment and refold that armhole. And what I need to do is go back and just finish up that top stitching from there to there. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's too much work, you can just sew I have a little thread here, you can just sew the edges together without opening this up. But you do have to make sure that you have met those edges exactly, because if one is off, it's going to look ridiculous. So that is fine for the back. I'm okay with that. What I will do is snip a little triangle because it is going to like stick out and I don't want it to stick out, so that looks much better. You can actually even go in and just put a little hand stitch down there to tack that, but I think once it's pressed, it's fine. You can see that my stitching lines up, so no one is the wiser. It looks perfect, but you have to be very careful when you do that. So yeah, that is a pretty simple task. I'm going to go back and twin needle stitch this down, and my Deer and Doe Belladonna is going to look as good as new. All right, let's start by taking a look at the dress, right? It's so much better. The waistband now rides up here along my waist where it should be. It's shorter, so it came up about 2 inches, so it doesn't look like a granny dress on me. The neckline's up. This underarm is all covered, and in the back, it's got more coverage. So really, for something that took 20 minutes, I have a dress that I can actually wear again, and it will stay with me for a little while longer in my closet, which I'm really delighted about. So let's try the jacket. You know, that one little detail on the jacket, and I'm not swimming in it again, it makes such a difference. And that took, what, maybe 5 minutes? I had to try it on and decide how much I wanted to take off and then go from there. But proportionally, it's better. It's still a little big up through here in the shoulders, but I can live with that. It's a jacket, it's fine. For now, I'll be able to get a little bit more wear out of it at the end of the summer and going into the fall. So you can take clothes that are a little big for you, that were either not made to fit your body or you've lost some weight and you want to construct them down again. It's a simple fix. Pull up the shoulder or pull up the waistband, and you can shorten this bodice and get a little bit more wear out of your garment and have something that's a little more tailored to your body. Happy sewing. Bye.